So what I'm working on today is I'm pulling out the door panel in my R32 GTR to try to get to the window auto up-down relay or regulator that's right down here. So to pull the whole door off, which I need to do to get to that, you're going to have to remove several things. You'll notice the window switch controls are out, and you need to come up here to the front and pop it free out there. Then there are two screws up here in the front. Everything that I say is a screw is a Phillips head. So 1, 2, 3 is in the cup holder. You'll see the cup holder looks like this. It's got the little cover that you've come to know and love. And then you just lift that guy out. Then behind the little door handle, these are pretty self-explanatory. But lift the door handle up in the front and pry it out the front, and then take that screw out, and then you should just be able to lift that guy out. And then there are 3 screws along the bottom. Let's see if I can show you them. 1, 2, and 3 is way over there. So then with that, you should be able to lift the door off just like any other. Just remember, it's usually hung up here, so you're going to want to pop it off from the bottom and lift it out. But I don't have enough hands, so I'll pop it off quick. Now that we have the door panel out, we can look at where the little clips are so that you guys can see them. So there's one on the top left, there's one on the bottom left, there's one on the bottom right, middle right, top right. And then as you can see, it's got this whole lip. So once you pop those clips out, you're gonna wanna lift upward on the whole door panel to get it to come free. So now we can look at the inside of the door panel, and we can see that, well, yeah, I mean, it's been open before and somebody's sealed all the holes up with Dynamat, so that's kind of cool, I guess. So anyway, yeah, I guess you can see the door speakers aren't there at all, but you can see the wires for the door speakers are present. And these are the 2 cables that go with the window switches. And then they lead back here to this relay box, which is the thing I'm here to look at. And then it looks like we have the power wires for the power operated locks. Wait, power operated locks? They're not power operated, are they? I didn't know this thing had a lock unlock button. But I mean, it definitely has wires. Maybe it's a security thing only. Anyway, let's figure that out, but that's interesting. But anyway, I'm here for this guy, so I'm going to take this guy out, and we're going to look at the circuit board inside of him. As you can see, there are 2 Phillips head screws that are holding this little relay box on. Okay, so there's a couple things that can break inside of this circuit. These are the relays that I believe do the actual, like, power generation for moving the windows. That's how I see it anyway. And this guy, the way I see it is it just sends the signals. And this top says front, so you can picture this is how it sits in the car. And I kind of want to draw out exactly what the connections are, but what I noticed is when I pull the down connection, it's spotty. Sometimes it activates, sometimes it doesn't. And the auto down function, I can't find any pin that makes it work. So for up, what I found was there are 2 pins that connect when you press up, and they stay connected when you press double up or auto up, right? And then there's another set of pins that when you press up doesn't connect, but when you press auto up does. You get what I'm saying here? So it's an OR gate and then an AND gate. So my guess is that something on the downside isn't functioning correctly. So I need to take this guy apart and look. Maybe I'll get lucky and it's like a iffy solder joint. The other thing that I was really hoping for was that there was an iffy solder joint in here, but there isn't one. I don't know how well the camera will focus, but there are no broken solder joints anywhere. And maybe you saw the previous owner of this car made a video, Watch JR Go made a video where he cleaned these guys out and put this whole board through a cleaner, and seems fine. So when his experience was that the auto up-down feature doesn't work, so he thought that was something over here. But after doing a little bit more analysis, my perspective is that this is not sending the hold on, let me get the orientation right, down or auto down function. Sometimes it'll send the down, but probably not the auto down ever. So anyway, this thing is held in by these 4 tabs. I don't have my tiny little screwdrivers out here. You can see I have some stuff, but I wasn't able to get it to pop free, and I really don't want to shatter it. So I'm going to get some more tools and try to get this baby apart. So the other night when I was testing this by myself, I felt like the response through the pins was not great. But I went and mapped out how the whole thing is laid out and figured out what most of the stuff did. Then I checked that all the behaviors were right, and then just for the heck of it, I reflowed all of the solder joints on here. But the moral of the story is this guy appears to work perfectly fine. It appears to send the signals appear to be constant, so I think he's fine. So I tried to take a look at this guy to see what's wrong with him, and I don't see any broken solder joints. I'm pretty confident saying there aren't any broken solder joints here. I don't see any swelled capacitors. So I'm not really sure. These look like the relays that give power to the direction that you're asking the motor to go. So I just need to, maybe I'll plug it in and see if they work. It's pretty hard to see, but there are little connections here for these coiled wire sections. Maybe you could call them amplifiers. But anyway, it's just a tiny little wire. And I was trying to figure out if I thought any of these were like barely contacting, but they all look pretty good. So I'm not really sure what could be the problem here. If I could isolate the component that was wrong, I truthfully believe I could desolder that component and drop a new one in. But isolating which component is the problem would be the most difficult part. If I had to pick, I would probably just try these big guys first. I would actually want to figure out exactly what they are. But, I mean, literally everything else in here looks like a completely passive component without any moving parts. So, like, he would be the most likely culprit, unless it's the micro, whatever that guy is. What is he? LB8070. I'll look that up just for the heck of it. LB8070. What else does it say on there? O4H. OH4. So maybe I'll see what this micro is. Maybe that'll help me understand what's going on here. But yeah, this is probably my culprit somewhere in this board based on the fact that I can't find any flaws with this board at all. So there's that. All right, so what I just did is very carefully plugged in both the things. And just to clarify, I really didn't do much of anything. And now I IG'd on the car. Now we're gonna see if she goes down. She does not. See if she tries to go up. She does not. Oh, maybe we're not IG'd on far enough. There we go. There's a fuel pump. My bad. Okay, so now we're gonna try to go down, and it does go down. Then we're gonna try to go up, and the auto up function does work. And let's see if we can see which of these guys is actuating. Okay, so the front one, the closest to the connector, actuates for going up, and the bottom one actuates for going down. Okay, so that appears to work, so I guess we'll just be really careful when we put it back together. And then I'll check it after I put everything back together to know if that's the flaw. But that is actually mission accomplished, although I'm not really sure what I did, if reflowing that solder helped with anything or not, but maybe it did. Who knows? Maybe it'll stop working again the minute I put it together. I wanted to share something I didn't notice the first time. If you look in there, there's a channel for the circuit board to follow. So I wouldn't be surprised if you just drop this back here any which way, that maybe that channel interfered with the relay moving. Just a thought. But anyway, yeah, if you're putting this back in, be sure to put a channel in there. And then as you can see, you pretty much have to cut it and pry it to get it out. So now I'll drop the cover back in there, and then I'm just gonna retest if it works like that. Still works. Killed the battery testing the window motor. I love it. Final test. If it doesn't work after this, I would say that it's conclusively vibration that causes it to have a problem. Up, down, and then make sure normal down works, normal down, auto down, normal up, auto up. Done. Yep, everything works. So if it doesn't work after I put all this back together, then I'll say vibration is goobering something up. Still really can't get over that I own a Nissan GTR. Even if it's kind of broke.